this is Chris from Chris Loves Crochet and Crochet Recreations, and today we are going to learn how to do the Catherine wheel stitch. And in doing the Catherine wheel stitch, I'm going to show you how to make a winter set, an ear warmer, a headband ear warmer, and a squared off cowl. And the squared off cowl we'll then have, I think we're going to put on some fringe. That'll be fun. Okay, so what do we need to make these items, you ask? Well, I have ice yarns here, ambient or ambiente, ambient, 50% wool, 50% acrylic. It's 100 grams and 134 meters. It is a bulky 5. Calls for 6 millimeter knitting needles, and so I'm going to use a 7 millimeter crochet hook. This is very much like Lion Brand's Landscapes, and except for this is a 5 and the Landscapes is a 4. And so if you're using Landscapes or whatever you're using, you can use a 4 or a 5. Just go with the measurements and you'll be fine. So 7 millimeter crochet hook, a tapestry needle, a bent tip tapestry needle with a larger hole, because this is a 5 weight, and scissors, of course, and a stitch marker so you never lose any stitches whenever you walk away from your project. And like I said, let's go with measurements. So I have a tape measure. So the first thing that I'm going to tell you before we start the stitch is as far as the squared off cowl, that is, my measurements for that is 28 inches long and 6 inches wide. So I'm going to do that 6 inches wide, and so make a 6-inch foundation and then go up 28 inches about. And for my headband, I measured my head around my ears, just put the measuring tape right where I would want my headband, and it came out to be 22 inches. So what I'm going to do with that one is I'm going to make a long foundation of 22 inches and then only do a couple of rows, or 4 rows. I don't know, 3 rows. I don't know. We'll have to see once we get there. No, let's see. It'll probably be 3 rows. Yeah. And so let's get started. So in order to do a Catherine wheel, what you want to do is chain in multiples of 6 and then plus 2. So we do our little slip knot there on our hook. And we chain in multiples of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can see those wool things sticking out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I'm going to add 2. Now this is just for a sample, just to show you. So you would need to measure out your 6 inches and then add 2 in order for the width of the squared off cowl. So I can't remember how many stitches that was. Okay, so we have 2. So the way we start this is on our foundation row, we skip the first chain, go to the second chain, and just do a single crochet. And since we started this row on a single crochet, we're going to end this row on a single crochet. Now we're going to skip 2 stitches, or 2 chains, and make a fan of 7 double crochet. So I'm going to skip this one and go into the third and do 7 double crochets in the same stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now at each end of these fans, we need to anchor it down with a single crochet. So we're going to skip 2, make sure that you don't, because this got so full that this next chain got pretty tight. So we're going to skip 2 chains, and on the third chain, do a single crochet. Single crochet. So we have a single crochet here, 7 double crochets in a fan, and then skip 2 stitches, 2 chains, and then put in 1 single crochet, and that is to anchor the end of the fan of 7. Skip 2, do 7 more, and you're going to do this all the way to the end. And you should, if you start with let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, if you start with the 7 double crochet fan, then you're going to end with a 7 double crochet fan, and then end with a single crochet on each end. So how many do I have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now I'm going to skip 2, and I'm already at the end. So if you need to pause here and work all the way, do so. Skip 2 at the end, make a single crochet. After we make our single crochet for the next row, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so we're going to have a 4-row repeat. Okay. So once we finish that row, then we are going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and turn. And now we're going to work just a half of a Catherine wheel on this half of the fan, of the 7 double crochet fan, because the full 7 double crochet together, other half of the Catherine wheel, goes from center to center. So we're going to have a half of one, a full one, and a half of one on this next row. So if we start with a half, we end with a half. So we've chained up 3, so that counts as 1 double crochet. And now we're going to do 3 more double crochet together. So it was 1, yarn over, go into your stitch, grab your yarn, pull it through, yarn over, pull through 2, and stop. Yarn over, go in the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and stop. So the first 3, 1, 2, 3, are the 3 double crochet together. And this is the loop that was on our hook after we did our chain 3. So we pull it all through, and then we chain 2. And then we go into the top, to the 4th one, the top. Well, it's the next stitch, but it's the top of the fan, and put in 1 single crochet. Now we chain 3. So we always chain 2 before and 3, I'm sorry, 2 before the single crochet, and then 3 after the single crochet. And now I'm going to make a full-blown 7 double crochet together here. So stop, over, in, pull through 2, and stop, over, in, pull up, pull through 2, and stop. That's 1, 2, 3. The 4th one is always in the single crochet that's between the 2 fans. That's 4, 5, 6, and 7. So we've got 8 loops on our hook. We've got the 7 from the double crochet together and the loop that we started on our hook. So we yarn over, turn your hook down to where the hook is facing the bottom of those stitches so that you can pull them through without any problem. And now we chain 2. And then we do a single crochet in the very next double crochet of that fan. After the single crochet, we're going to chain 3. Now we're going to do another half, so we're going to do 4 double crochet together. 2, 3, and the 4th one is in the single crochet that we started with. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4 together, plus the loop that was already on our hook. Pull through. So we just put 4 together. Now we chain 3 and turn, and we start. We have to finish this half a Catherine wheel. So we've got our 1 double crochet there, so we do 3 more double crochets in this loop right here that looped all those together. So we go in here and we do 3 double crochets, not together, we're fanning out 3 more plus the chain 3, so that's a 4, and that's half of a Catherine wheel. Okay? Now we don't need to do any chaining in between because this is not pulled together. We have the space of this double crochet to lay across the chain. Go to this single crochet that's between the 2 from the last round. Do a single crochet. Now we have a full Catherine wheel. We have all 7 down here. We're going to go into this hole that has all of those 7 together, hooked together, right there. So right in that hole. Don't go in the space or anything. Go right in that hole and do 7 double crochets. We're doing a fan here. 2, 3, all in that same hole. 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7. And now we go to the single crochet that's here between these 7 together and 4 together. There's a single crochet there that we use to snug things down. That's where we snug down this fan so that it all stays together. And now we go to this loop that pulled together, this loop right here, that pulled together these 3 double crochet together, plus the chain. So we need to do 4 more. 1, 2, 3, and then to keep a nice straight side, the 4th one, I go way over here into the top of this chain and I do a double crochet over there so that we have a nice straight side. So we just did our 4 double crochet at the end, so we chain 1 and turn and single crochet in that first one, because we are now on the row with the full, we start with a full 7 together. So we're going to chain 3 because we just did our single crochet. So after the single crochet, you chain 3. And now we're going to do 7 together by just going in, grab your yarn, pull it through, grab your yarn, pull through 2, and stop. And just do 7 of those. Our 4th one is always in that single crochet. And then we're on to these double crochets in this fan. So that's 5, 6, and 7. yarn over, turn your hook down, away from the tops of the stitches, down inside the stitches so that you can pull it all the way through. Chain 2. Put a single crochet into the next stitch in this fan. Single crochet, chain 3. Now we do 7 together. 1, 2, 3. Fourth one is that single crochet. 4. Gets kind of crowded on the hook, especially if you have one like this with the handle on it. 5, 6, and 7. Turn your hook down, pull it through all 7 of them, chain 2, and then single crochet in the top of this chain, because we have to single crochet at the end of each of them to fasten them down, to anchor them down. So we just did 7 together, so now we chain 1 and turn and do a single crochet, and now we're going to do the same thing we did on the foundation, which is we jump over here to this hole where this whole 7 together went into that hole, and we're going to do 7 double crochets in that hole. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now we don't need to chain because we're going to lay down this double crochet all the way over here to this single crochet. We're going to single crochet in it. And then we're going to go back into this hole right here that we put the 7 together in and make 7 more. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now I've done this before with just a single color, and you can see the wheels better. And you can also do it with 2 colors. I did a purse a long time ago with Catherine Wheel, and I did it with gray and white. And so you do 2 rows. Well, you do the first row in, like, let's say the gray. That's the foundation row. And then you do row 1 and 2 in the white, and then 3 and 4 in the gray. So that the whole wheel, because it's these 7 together and this 7 fan, that together makes the wheel. And so you could really see the wheels on the bus go round and round. So there we just did our fan. We're going to go all the way down to the end where there is a single crochet and single crochet in it. Okay? So then we do so now we're starting to repeat. Chain 3, turn. Then I do 3 double crochet together. 1, 2, 3. So this we have already done. Down here, it's hard to tell on this dark colors, but the foundation row was a half a wheel, 2 half wheels. Then we have row 1, which is the bottom half of the wheel, which are the 7 togethers. Well, it's the 4, 7, 4 togethers. And then the next row, the second row, are the fans. A fan of 4, a fan of 7, a fan of 4. And then for row 3, we're getting back to the full wheel. So we have 7 together, 7 together. And then we have the next row, we have the fan of 7 that finishes the wheel. And now we just started our next 4, 7, 4. Okay? So we have 4 together, chain 1. Well, it's really 3 together because we start with a chain of 3. 3 together, chain 2, single crochet, chain 3, and then 7 together. Five, 6, 7. Yarn over, pull through all 7 hoops. Chain 2, single crochet in the next double crochet of the fan. Chain 3, and then 4 together. 2, 3, and then the 4th one comes down into that single crochet. Pull through. Then after our 4 together, we do a chain 3 and turn. And then we start crocheting in these holes. So we do 3 here, because we already have a chain 3, so we just do 3 more. Oops. 2, 3. Then I'm going to single crochet in the single crochet. And then I'm going to put 7 in this next one, because it's a full 7 together. So I'm going to do a fan of 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all in the same hole. And then we single crochet on the single crochet. Okay, y'all get that? Let's do this last one. We do 3 in the hole. 1, 2, 3. And then to keep a straight line, we do that 4th one over here on the top of the chain. There we go. Okay, so we have the foundation, then 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we did 1 and 2 again, so you still need to do 3 and 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the first one is the foundation, and then you're repeating those. So when at the end, I don't know if you want to hear this or not, this is what I did. I have such a hard time of remembering what to do at the beginning and the end of these rows with the Catherine wheel, and I've done them several times. But so let me just tell you, at the end of a row of a fan of 7, you single crochet at the end, then you chain 3 and turn, and then you do 3 together in the next 3 double crochet, and then you chain 2, single crochet, chain 3, do 7 together, blah blah blah. You get to the end, you've got 4 together. Remember that the 4th one, no, not in this one, that the 4th one is going to end up being in your single crochet. So we do 4 together, and after we do 4 together, then we chain 3 and turn again. Chain 3 and 2 and turn, and then we do 3 double crochets in that hole. Okay, so we started with a half of one of a fan of 4. We're going to end with a fan of 4. So we did 3 in this one, and to keep a nice straight line, I put the fourth double crochet in the chain from the previous row. So once I finished that, did the 4 double crochet, then I chain 1 and I turn and I single crochet, and I chain 3. Wait. This is why I get very confused. Yeah, I chain 1. I do a single crochet, then I chain 3, and I do 7 together. That's why I'm chaining 3 here, because it's after the single crochet. Chain 3, 7 together, chain 2, single crochet, chain 3, 7 together. And then after your 7 together, then you're back at the beginning with the fan. So after you do the 7 together, you chain 2, do a single crochet, chain 1 and turn, do a single crochet, and then do a fan, a 7 double crochet fan. It's really hard to see on this where they start and where they end. So I don't know if you were writing that down or if you just want to rewind and watch it and write your own notes so that you know the beginning and the ends of those. So that's the Catherine wheel. And so what I'm going to come back later and show you is the squared off cowl, and or the headband, the ear warmer. I'll do that one first. The ear warmer. And I'll show you a fancy way of putting it together so it looks like it kind of buckles together. And then we'll do the neck, the cowl, and put on some fringe. It'll be fancy. Okay. So I've gotten started on my headband ear warmer. Ear warmer. Anyway, I got started on it, and so it's 22 inches. And so I made a long chain, multiples of 6 plus 2, and then did the foundation, which was the fan of 7, skip 2, chain, single crochet, skip 2, fan of 7, skip 2, single crochet, all the way across. And then I started on row 1. So that was the foundation, and then row 1. And now I'm just started on row 2. So that's where I am. And I will show you when I'm done. What I think I'm going to do is I have the foundation, and it's got a straight edge. And then I've got 1 and 2, and then I think I'm just going to go to row 3, because that has a straight edge too. So it's just going to be about that wide. Is that 4 inches? So that I don't like them too wide to go around my head, or I just have a little tiny hole that's open on the top of my head. I don't like it like that. So, well, not always. Sometimes I do. But with this one, it's going to be a little bit more narrow. And anyway, I'll show you when it's done. Bye. All right. So here I have finished the ear warmer, and I did do the foundation plus 1, 2, and 3. And that's as wide as I want it to be, and it's 22 inches about, and it has a little bit of a stretch, so that's okay. Now to finish this off, instead of just sewing straight down, what I want to do is to make a fancy little end here that makes it almost look like a flower. It's a knot. So you fold one side down, fold the other side up. So you have this side down, and this side up, and then it's like a cover over a cup. So, but we intertwine them. So put one side of each inside the other fold. Let's see if I'm doing this right. I'm trying to keep that out from under. Okay. So we've got this fold, so we've got 4 layers. And I cut a long tail that hopefully is long enough to sew this in. And I probably should have already threaded it. So, this long tail is going to be orange. because that's what color I ended on. So let's see what it looks like when it's all orange in there. So I threaded my needle, and I have this 4-layer thingy here, and I'm going to go straight up. I want to make sure that this is down where it can go through all the other layers, and pull it tight. And make sure that this is folded all the way down so that when I put it down on the end here, it's going through all the layers. So I'm going to go back down through all the layers. So I've got that orange string. I think it matches. And so then I want to come back up and go back down. And we're just sewing together these 4 layers. I'll go up in the middle just to make sure I don't miss any. Go back down. And now I'm going to tie it in a knot down here with one of these strands that it went through with. Just tie it in a knot. And one more. This is kind of slick yarn, just like the landscapes. It's kind of slick, so it likes to come out of knots. So double knot it. And then we're going to want to sew in that tail pretty well, so that it won't slip out. So back and forth a few times. I'm going to come back up and grab this corner. And go back out the orange. Make another knot, because that's how I do. Just one knot. Then I'm down here on the orange, so I'm going to send it through 3 times here. That's a lot, I know. But you know, you're putting it on and off your head, and it's slick yarn, and I don't want it to come out. So I'd rather do it one time than have a problem later on. Cut that off. And then we have this nice little, you can't even see the orange because it's on the sides. And it has a nice little thing there. If I put it on a mannequin head, it's kind of like a fold. It kind of looks like a fold. It's kind of fun on the top of her. That's nice. That's nice. Covers up her ears really well, and there's more than just a little bit of top of her head showing, so it's not going to cover up your whole hairdo. So there's that. So I'll be back in just a minute, and we will finish the squared off cowl. So for the squared off cowl, what we're going to do is, instead of just attaching it like that and having a cowl, or making a Mobius, which you could do that, what I'm going to do is take the end here, the short edge here, and sew it onto the end of the long edge here. And then what you end up with is, see, it's squared off there at the tip. It's squared off. So what I'm going to do is cut some, I didn't leave a tail like I should have. So I'm going to cut some. I'm going to make it at least twice as long, probably 3 times as long as the area that I'm covering. And so I'm cutting off the yarn that I left off on so that it'll match at least one side. But really, actually, I ended up with both sides. Well, This has some different colors in there, but both sides were kind of the blue purple, the royal color. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start from up here. I'm going to, on the chain end, I'm going to first make a knot, slip knot, so that I could go in from the bottom here and make just tie it off onto this side. So I'm going to go into this slip knot hole, pull it snug to the needle, and then just pull it through. So that is not going anywhere. If I can find where the yarn ends. There we go. So I'll have to sew in that tail because I didn't think ahead and leave a long tail. You guys leave a long tail. Now, I think what I'm going to do is, well, I can't really do a blanket stitch. I'm just going to do a whip stitch, but just do it very carefully and as evenly as I can without stretching either side. Now, you guys know that with a striping, make sure that ends up there. With using a striping yarn, you really don't know how it's going to end up. And I really lucked out that here at this end and at this end, we have the teal, green, teal, and then the blue. That was purely by chance. I didn't manipulate it, although you certainly can. You know, if you get to a color towards your end that you don't want it, you don't think it'll go with the other end, just kind of cut it off and do a join, pull some more yarn out of your hank and or your skein, and get to the color that you want and then attach it. So I'm just going to keep doing this until I get down to the end. So I got down to the end, and now I'm just going to weave in this end here. Just going to go back up this stitch. Now this Catherine wheel is a two-sided stitch. Thank goodness, because I didn't really think ahead on which side was going to be the front. So since I stitched it on this side, then I'm going to flip it around to the other side, and it should look a lot cleaner. It may or may not, who knows. So there's that. So there's our cowl, and I'm going to flip it. Oh, and I still have this tail to weave in. And yeah, I think that looks a lot better, don't you think? Okay, so now for the tassels, not the tassels, for the fringe, I'm going to put fringe down, maybe just the front. So as you fold it and you fold it flat, you have the neck area here, and you fold it flat. Make sure that you have about the same, and you can tell by the number of wheels you have. So you have 1, 2, no, because they're going different directions. You can do the little foldy, and get halfway down that point folded, and then gently, without stretching either side, pull that forward, pull that across until you get to the fold. And then what I'm going to do is find a couple of stitch markers. I use these things all the time because I'm going to forget where something is, or because I need to leave, and I need to leave it there, and so just to hold my spot, or to hold my spot and to mark where I was headed to. I use these stitch markers all the time. So there we've got the edge to edge. So we open it up, we've got edge to edge. That's where I'm gonna put my fringe, from here down to there. All right, so we have a little bit of raw edge over here. and a lot of bit of raw edge over here. The only part we have it is right here where we have the stitches. So where are we going to put the fringe? I think what I'm going to do is put two at each place where, well, at least down to this row where they kind of come together. And then at the tip, maybe do 3. And then over here, if this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So each place that there's kind of like a little divot, and I'm going to move this up just a tad so that it's right at that spot. So now what we need to do, you decide where you want to put your fringe. That's just what I've decided. Now, you need to get something to use as a, which one of these? For the fringe, I think this is too floppy. So let's use this. It's all kind of messy, but it's really thick in the middle. We'll just use the end here. So we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30. 30 if there's 2 in each place. So that means that there are 15 places. So we count this front place, and there should be 14 places, 7 on each side. How'd you like that math, huh? So I have 2 balls, and I did run through and take out the orange on the one ball. Was right at the orange, and the other one was going from red to orange. So I took out the red and orange and got to a purple and a red, and I'm going to do them both at the same time. So if I need 30, I need 15, 16. Give me 32, give me 1 extra, because we're going to put 3 there, or I'm going to see if I need to. I'll have it already cut. So let's do 16 rounds. So I put it down here on the bottom, put my thumb there to hold it, and go over it so that it kind of holds it in place. And there's 2 rounds, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Now some people do them just a few at a time so they can make sure they're all the same length. I don't really care if they are the same length or not. So I started it down here and I ended it down here. And so this is where I'm going to cut it. And so I did that on purpose because this is where the paper is. So there's a little bit of space in here. So I'm going to cut it straight down the center here. And now I have fringe. So you only cut it on one side because that's how long you wanted it, and you're going to fold these over when you put them through. So you need a crochet hook. Let's see, I'll put those right there. Need a crochet hook big enough to hold the 2 things of yarn. So I'm going to go ahead and get the 7 back out. So I'm going to try to grab 2 different colors. And to do this, you start from the bottom. You go up. You have your yarn folded over. You grab this place where it's folded, pull it down through the hole, back up, yarn over with those 4 strands because we're doing 2 at a time, and there's 2 for each one. So that's 4 strands, and I'll pull it through, and that's the beginning of my fringe. Right there. So I'm going to keep doing that Trying to keep these fringes. It doesn't matter. If you want to, you can put the same color all the way down and do kind of a change the color as it goes, just like the scarf does. I like to have a little bit of a fun mix-up of colors. But it looks like I just got all purple, reddish purple, and bluish purple in my fringe. No orange at all. So I'm just going to finish doing this all the way around, and I will show you when it is done. So I finished the fringe. Yay! Taking out the stitch markers. Got a pretty little squared off cowl. And if you think this needs more fringe than this, just go in and cut some more and put some more on. I think I might. And just put, you can either make it just more of a strand of fringe by putting some in between. Or you could make each one of these fringe packets, or whatever, thicker. However you want to do it. I think I'm going to put some more in between here. Maybe. I don't know. I'm going to go try it on and see. You know, I can get way out of control with my fringe. It's already quite long. Yours does not have to be that long. I like it that long. So, anyway, so there we have it. We have the little headband with the little twist in it. And then we have the squared off cowl as its mate, as its pair. So I will put some pictures in so you can actually see the whole thing. And I hope that you enjoyed that and you learned something. And thank you for your time. I know that you're really busy these days. And we always have a choice, so please choose happy. Thanks. Bye.